Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Press Play Lifestyle Inspired podcast, where we do podcast interviews with inspiring people like our new friend Alexis here on helping our listeners find the resources, tools, and support that they're going to need to be their best inspired self. So, would you mind introducing yourself to the audience? Just tell them a little bit about yourself.
Thanks for having me here, Jackie, and I'm really super excited to be on your podcast. So my name is Alexis Jane, and I'm a mindset business coach. So I help women in business with their mindset and help them crack open their best selves and activate a higher level of themselves so that they can step up to that next level and create more confidence for themselves in different areas of their business. And I help them see what they can't see in their business because they're actually in it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, how does someone get into that kind of line of work? Because when I was doing like aptitude tests in college, there wasn't one that said help women be a mindset coach. Like, what's that journey that kind of took you from where you must have been to helping women in that way now?
So my background's personal training, hospitality, and real estate. So I've always loved helping people. I was never an academic at school. And I went over in Australia, we have a thing called schoolies when you leave school and you go on a holiday after you finish year 12. And my girlfriends and I went on a cruise. And when I got back from a cruise, my mum said, I've enrolled you into TAFE. I was like, oh, okay, what will I be doing at TAFE? Because I didn't want to continue studying. And she put me into personal training because I love fitness. I love the health industry. And then that's kind of where it kind of kicked off, but I didn't actually really understand the mindset was such a huge part of going through to get results. I thought it was just the physical side of things and not the mental side of things. I didn't really understand. So I was 19 and off I went on my merry little way, studying and doing my thing. And then fast forward, say 10, 15 years. And after all of my travels, I've been traveling overseas and doing bits and pieces, and I got married, and then we had a little girl, and 2 years later we had a marriage breakdown. And in that marriage breakdown, I went through depression, anxiety, went and saw all of the doctors, went on antidepressants, and I was really, really, really struggling. And I ended up moving back into my parents' house, and I was like, there's something more here. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to move myself from where I am right now. And I started doing some research and I found life coaching. I was like, oh, didn't even know that this existed. So then I went on a 2-day personal development weekend. And then I found out that there's this whole new world of NLP, kinesiology, hypnosis, timeline therapy, and meditation and clearings. And I hadn't even heard of half of these words before. I was like, I need to learn more about this because this weekend has just changed my whole world and released so many of my stuck emotions I didn't realize were stuck. And if I did know that they were stuck, I didn't know how to let go of them. So I was learning how to let go of all of that. And so I started studying that. I got off my antidepressants. I moved through what I needed to move through. And then I started coaching women in life coaching, I guess. And I was really enjoying that. But then what really got my fire burning inside of me is helping women in their business and watching them earn more money in their business and helping them expand and really create the business that they've always dreamt of, but they didn't know how to do it. So I help women shift through that.
That's an interesting journey, right? So you kind of started out with, you're going to do this because I said so. And then kind of like, oh yeah, that was fine, to the business side of it, which is a pretty far road away from sort of the fitness side of it. So how did you like find the resources to be personally resourced on the business side of coaching?
My journey through building my own business and having the confidence to step up and do the scary things and go through the judgment, the self-judgment, the thinking that other people are judging me, and creating a really strong network and environment of people who are really super supportive and understand the business world, who understand the online business, who understand that it is challenging. But once you crack the code, it can be a lot easier moving forward. And I've spent a lot of money on different coaches, business coaches, mindset coaches, and that journey of doing that has really helped me accelerate how I do business. But I also know what works for myself. But business isn't the same for everybody. And what I found, I was learning a lot of the Tony Robbins stuff, a lot of the masculine energy business things. And it, in the early days, it wasn't working for me. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. And then I started really researching women coaches, women business coaches, mindset coaches, and watching how they did business. And then I started understanding that there's the masculine and feminine energy, and you need both of them within the business world. But which way and what is the way that you do business? So I really help women understand if they're more masculine side or if they're more feminine side, and use their energies to an advantage. And even though you could be following a script, if the energy behind the script is not clean energy and helping energy, if it's needy desperation, you're not going to get anywhere. So I help women really understand where their energy is. And I got a message from a client yesterday who 6 months ago didn't even know about the online world. She didn't know about coaches or mindset. And she's an assistant coach and she works in the online space now. And she messaged me yesterday. She said, I went to the shops yesterday and I could really feel into other people's energy. And I realized that it wasn't mine. And I was like, that's really interesting. 6 months ago, you would have had no idea why you were feeling off or why you're feeling jittery, because it's not your stuff, it's somebody else's. And so being in tune with who you actually are, then you can really tune into the client, you can tune into the potential client, you can tune into what it is that you want and desire as well from life and business. Because with women, what I found is business and life intertwined with each other, because we're mothers, we're wives or girlfriends, and we're business owners, and being able to juggle that all and still be in flow and feel happy and calm and comfortable in what you're doing. So there's lots of layers to it.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting comment, and I wonder if you've exhausted it or if you could talk a little bit more about it. But I've run into a similar feeling of I spent 20 years in software development and healthcare IT, which is a very male-dominated. Everything about it is male. I was one of all of the kids that graduated in my graduating class. In my undergraduate, I was the only female in the computer programming program, and I always felt a little bit like you have to match their energy, right? The only way you could succeed is if you do it a certain way, if you have a certain attitude, or if you have confidence erring on arrogance. There was like all these things that felt uncomfortable to me. Yet I didn't understand. I was like, why can't I still be successful and just be me, the person I am? So, I mean, I think that's probably a big unfolding, and I see it a lot more now that women can be women and be feminine women, or a little feminine, a little masculine, a little bit of whatever, and succeed. It might just look different than it did for our male counterparts. So are there any tricks or any things that like you've kind of seen specifically to that sort of male female energy and being able to find success that way?
So with one of my clients that I've worked with, she climbed the corporate ladder. She climbed the corporate ladder for 20 years. It was really successful. She moved over and she had a side hustle doing network marketing. And I really helped. And she couldn't understand why she wasn't cracking the code with network marketing when she was really successful, high six-figure income, smashing it at work. But there was still that male dominance at work that she hadn't cracked either. But she'd created so many layers and walls in front of her that she didn't even know that she had created while she was climbing the ladder. in the corporate world. So when she moved over to having her own business, she really struggled because she didn't actually really know who she really was, because we had to uncover and crack those walls open. And once we started cracking that open and uncovering that, she just became an absolute powerhouse at her corporate job. She was being in her own energy, and she was being kind, but she was being powerful. And she was being powerful with the words that she was using. And language is such a huge thing that I listen into when people are speaking, and I have my own coach so she can listen into my language when I'm talking about things, because we miss things when we're in it. So we need to work with somebody so that we can better ourselves. And I got a phone call one day from my client, and she was like, "You'll never guess what happened. I stood up to this man who I've been so petrified of standing up to before. And now we have a beautiful relationship. But before we were both like, like attacking each other, even if it wasn't with words, but energetically they were attacking each other. And then she stood up for herself and was really powerful with the words, but really kind in how she did it. And now they have a great work relationship now, and it's made everything a lot easier and smoother for them. So when you're climbing the corporate ladder, or if you want to be in the man's world, we start creating a new persona for ourselves that's really not us, and we feel a bit icky. And sometimes we don't even know that we've done it because it's learnt behavior, and we've taught ourselves how to do that, and we've forgotten why we taught ourselves how to do that, or why we decided that we needed to do that to be in a male world. When I feel a male has his place and a female has her place, and I think that we can work beautifully together and have that beautiful masculine feminine dance. But we, both men and women, both have masculine and feminine energy to dance between, and it's really uncovering and knowing which one you work best in, and how you really want to show up in the world, and how you want to be you, and what does the real you really look like under all of those layers, under all of that stuff that we've created. And when you look at when I look at my daughter, she's 9, and she's just her. There's no hiding, there's no judgment. She just does stuff. And I learned so much from her when she's dancing down the street, and I just start dancing with her, and she's like, "Mom, you're so embarrassing." I'm like, no, but I'm bringing out my inner child and having fun with you now. Who cares if anybody's watching us? So she gets embarrassed by me doing silly things, but it's okay for her because she's a child. So she feels that it's still okay for her to do that. But as we grow older, we get this, you need to act like an adult, stop acting like a child. When I think that you can dance between all of it as we grow up.
Yeah, I love that, like, dance between that. They talk about that a lot in, like, ICF, International Coaching Federation's, like, program. They talk about coaching as sort of like dancing between the raindrops when you're working with a client. But one thing I love that you said, and I just wanted to reiterate it, and it's happened a lot for me, is there is a difference. You can be powerful and still kind, which was one of the, like, the things that you were talking about. And I think that was where a lot of women I know that have been in the corporate ladder struggled, because they thought, well, if I act kind, then I'm going to be taken advantage of. Powerful is like never letting anyone get away with anything, and you have to always win. And I think maybe we've redefined our own words so much so that we forget that you can have power without, like, hurting people or being angry, or, there's just, what are the two strongest emotions are, like, hate and love. They're both powerful, right? So is there anything specifically that you've worked with women on to help them find a way to both be powerful and still retain, like, their caring side or their kind side?
So one of the first things that I help my women get really clear on what it is that they want from life. Because when you're clear on what it is that you want, then you have the clarity to speak with that power from within, but also be kind about it, because you know what you want. There's no self-judgment, and you're confident in owning what it is that you actually want. So with one of my clients, she didn't actually really know what she wanted, And when she thought she knew what she wanted, when we started to uncover it. So with my clients who are either working in network marketing, or if they're a coach and they're either attracting the wrong people, then they're not able, they don't know who they want to attract, I get them to do this exercise where they write down who is the person that they're attracting right now. And then I get them to write another list and say, who is it that they want to be attracting into their world? And then I get them to do that over a week, and I get them to really feel into who they're currently attracting, and like every little attribute of who that person is, and then who is the person that they want to be attracting, who inspires them to be a client or a customer or whoever it is, if it's in network marketing or affiliate marketing. And then when they look at the list of the people that they want to be attracting, I get them to circle who they're not showing up as right now. So if it's powerful, or if it's confident, if it's whatever they've written on that list, they already have inside of them. Because if you've written it down, you can see it, which means it's inside of you. So we go through that, and then we start looking at how they can improve, like what has to happen for them to feel more powerful within themselves. Is it doing the power stance with their feet shoulder width apart, with their hands on their hip? What does confidence look like for them? And when I did this with one of my clients, she sat there and she just started crying. And I was like, what's going on? I don't know what have I missed? She said, the people that I'm attracting into my world right now are both my mums. I was trying to save both of my mothers. And I looked at her, I went, okay. And then she said, I was adopted. I don't tell many people that. I went, whoa, kind of wasn't expecting that, but that's powerful, right? And she really wanted to help women who needed the help and needed to be saved, who weren't ready to be saved. And in that moment, she really understood. I said, what you want to be doing is helping the women that you can, who have got the money to invest in themselves. So you can go and do charity work for the women who are not sure yet that they actually really need this help, love and support, or they're not ready for it, but you can do charity work for them. Oh my goodness. But in that moment, she didn't know until we did that exercise how powerful coaching can be, but how powerful doing little exercises, which you think are such a small exercise, how powerful they can be with the result that you get at the end of it. And then the following week after we did that exercise, actually it was within 72 hours, she had people that she'd reached out to 6 or 12 months prior contacting her saying, I'm ready to jump in now, because she'd opened up to wanting to help the women that had money to invest in themselves and who were driven business women who wanted to work side by side with her in the network marketing arena. But now she's moved on to, she's still doing a network marketing business, but now she's moved on to actually coaching as well. So there's so many things that shift and change when you're working with a coach, because you don't even know what's inside of you until you start doing those exercises.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So how can someone find you if they do want to kind of get help with their business and showing up and doing all the things that you clearly are really good at doing?
So the best place to find me would be at my Facebook page, which is Alexis Jane, and jump on there, become my friend, send me through a Facebook message and let me know where you found me, that you found me on Jackie's podcast. And we can set up a phone call and it just be a really beautiful chat around where you're at, where you want to go, getting really clear and getting some clarity around your business, and then see if we are a good fit to work together, or if I can just help you in that one session and gain some clarity for you.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. So thank you so much. We'll make sure to have all of your contact information in the show notes as well. But I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you've got a lot going on being a mom and being a coach and running your own business, but I thank you so much, and keep in touch. I look forward to seeing how many other people you get to keep helping.
Amazing. Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.